Mhm. Good evening, Ms. Diagana. Would you please take roll? Agenda items.
Be celebrating those we have retiring. But before we get to that, I just want to talk about a couple of things. I think this time in a smaller subset, even that are moving on to a couple of tournaments that we'll be asking for you to approve travel to later. I had a chance to go this year to the FA tournament. Opening ceremonies and the award ceremonies for FBLA, both first for me. It was fantastic to see that as well. Both organizations so student led, and that which is what you want to see, right? You want to see students doing the meat of the work, students doing the competitions. Those are just two examples of things that a chance to do pretty well. Our baseball program's doing pretty well. It's a good time to be a Rough Rider and to be growing up in the community. There's here and others that had other things going on. And so with that, I would love to begin that celebration. And tonight, we're three who are here. We'd love to speak a little about each of the three, have each of the individuals who are here, when it's your turn,
Matt couldn't help me tonight, so I'm sorry.
So we will be out to visit you at your sites along with all these others that we had to come out and. Dave Benson is here with us tonight, and he's going to share some words. He is at Roosevelt High School.
HS. Deb was responsible for writing the entire English curriculum. Through the years, she has taught pretty much every level. Regular panelist on National Public Radio. We all wish her well, and she will be missed. Thank you. Thank you.
Love to shake hands also, and then come back, please, and well, maybe wait till after song to ring the bell. Okay?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
For learning. That is what you have done for your entire career, directly through teaching children, through mentoring the people around you, guiding them through curriculum and instructional ideas, your leadership, your passion, early childhood education, and how that impacts our youngest learners is unparalleled. Sorry. You will be dearly missed, and the nation that you laid for thousands of children, either directly by teaching them or through the work you did to support other teachers, will continue to live on in our system for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
We loved you. Thank you for teaching my child.
Thank you so much for your service and congratulations on the progress. Of course, thank you.
My girl.
Checks in the mail.
Oh, I have to say something. You have to make like ring around the rosy or something in early childhood, but I'm not going to. Okay.
All right, third tonight, we'd like to recognize Priscilla or Sil White. First time I have a mom I call Sil. And so early last year, I was talking to Sil, and my mom's name is Sylvia. And so I learned about that, and then Sil helped me recognize that her name is Priscilla, not the same as mom. So speaking on behalf of Sil is Tabitha.
So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for your unwavering dedication and commitment to the sisters. You have worked nearly 3 decades for us in supporting different directors, multiple different buildings and teachers and different as well along the way. You always bring a certain sense of warmth into everything that you do. So when Scott had mentioned that he calls his Bill, I've had several staff members that have shared that you're like another mom, or that that you're so sweet and so understanding and so caring. Your attention to detail and tireless commitment to clients and that gentle, caring nature have made immeasurable difference, not just in the quality of our work, but in the spirit of our team. I know that you're someone that I can always go to, so I know that I've been saying the last couple of months it's going to be hard. Thinking about July and August, we're planning for that, and I'm referring to Sil and Julia as my team, even though I know we're moving on to different paths. So you've been more than a secretary, you've been the heart behind the scenes, always watching out for others with kindness, and I'm truly grateful for the compassion, patience, and diligence you've shown us. It's great. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. That's a good point.
Thank you so much for your service and congratulations.
You know, it's so funny. When somebody works from the admin building, nobody in the community seems to even. But as soon as you announced last year, I mean, I got phone calls and emails like, what? We need to figure this out because we can't let her go. So
Yeah, I think JJ Len's really good.
you've made ripples. So.
Congratulations.
Song, dances,
But I feel like the Naval Academy or something.
Yeah.
Ring it loud and proud. Yes.
All right, the other individuals who were unable to make it with us tonight, who are finishing up their career with us. Jason Aldrich, who currently is at Roosevelt High School, has been with us for 25 years. Originally was hired in August of 2000. Ken Howell was with us 16 years. Originally came to us in July of 2009. Started track and field, then moved to an athletic director, and most recently has been an AP at Elwell Elementary School. Bonnie Smith was with us only a year, has been out at Pioneer Ridge. And Patty Janelle was with us for a little over a year. So that's the group that are stepping away this year to end their time with us or end their career with us. And we'd love to honor certainly the 3 who are here tonight, but all 7 of those with some cake, if you're open to it. President Wales, I know that's not the ordinary for a board meeting, but.
But you know, I allow it. You want to head to refreshment?
Yeah, let's take a
Okay,
break.
so we'll go into recess, 6:19 for cake.
Good reason for recess.
It's in the back. comments from board members? I know y'all are busy, so.
Who wants to start? You want to start? I'll start. Mine will be short. We had busy. Thank everyone for giving me grace to take care of that and to put them on the top of my priority list. And then as far as reports, I just want to take this opportunity to say happy Teacher Appreciation Week to all of our teachers in our district. I come from a teacher family. I saw how much hard work got into every day going to school, arriving early, coming late, and then working on work also. And I also have a child in the school district. So I just want to thank all the teachers. I'm so thankful we have such a strong teaching community here. And I'm excited because we, at the library where I work, we've got to participate in a few literacy nights, and we have PREs coming up here, I believe, next week. And we're just really excited to partner with different schools and be a part of that. And so we're really looking forward to that. And that's all I have today.
I feel like it's been a minute.
Yeah.
I've done a few things. I went to the RMS Cinco de Mayo celebration. There was queso.
Invitations I get.
I know. I have to say, like, I've been impressed with the culinary and art club at RMS, both during parent-teacher conferences and during Cinco de Mayo. They've been showing off what they do. I mean, from making cookies, selling them, to at Cinco de Mayo, they were selling take-home art kits that you could take home and do, and I just thought that was really great. And Cinco de Mayo celebration was really fun because there's a lot of community organizations that came, like the library even came with their Glow Forge, which is kind of fun. But there was a clothing exchange for the kids, and there was games, and I really appreciate it. Even if my child was kind of like a dud at it, I enjoyed it, and I thought the photo booth was great. So I appreciate whoever who put that on. I went to Emmy again to read for Knights Club. This time I took my 13-year-old with me. What was really fantastic is around the principal and AP windows, the kids had done things like thank you, we're in full and you rock type things around the principal's windows. And I thought that was so fun because sometimes those positions are seen to be a little bit more scarier to the kids than teachers. And I thought it was really great. Popped into a few track meets, and the Randall Hess track meet was ridiculously large. Like, I have never seen so many people actively moving on a site before. It was like they were in the farm field to the east, and they were on the west, and everybody was running and walking and like across and through, and like it was just incredible. It really was. I am looking forward to it one day when that road that goes around the high school gets a little bit wider, that when people park, they're not parked in an actual lane, creating havoc versus like actually like on a side. So I'm looking forward to that one day. Yeah, that's it, I think.
All right.
My turn. Let's see. So I've also looked at a couple of track meets, both middle school level at other districts and at our track, and a couple of high school track meets as well. And it is exciting to see. That place, I don't think we did it on purpose. It's a really great place to watch track meet. Because all the area above with the concessions and the concrete and all that, it's just a really cool place to watch track. Let's see, I also went to the middle school choir concert just last night. Again, I know I've talked about the music program at the middle school, but there were 200 kids, wow. 250 kids, something like that, participating in that, and it's just really cool to see that program continue to grow and thrive, and I hope it'll continue into the high school level as those kids graduate and move into Roosevelt. And then along those same lines, we went to the play a couple of weeks ago and watched Once Upon a Mattress, and oh my goodness, those kids did a great job. It was a lot of fun to see. The young woman who played the lead, Miss Balderson, was amazing. I think she might have a career doing this if she wants to. And I know one of our board members was in the pit helping out with me there. It was just really cool to see the space used as we intended to, the castle they had set up with the kids in the pit, the orchestra pit playing in there. It was just really exciting and really cool. One of the best presents I've seen at Roosevelt High School in a long time. So it was really cool to see. So that's it for me.
And this play Saturday. We've got her as a choir concert tonight. Here. I did enjoy the food truck competition today. They did an amazing job. This program is awesome. It's really taken. One of my daughters made homemade donuts last week. Sort of compliment. It's really fun. Judging the different food truck concepts and from scratch. So it's good. I don't listen to the track game from my house. I need to get I'm trying to get one of the girls to help track so I can have an excuse. Having 2 years already, it's shocking me even in since these people say something, the amount of like awesome to see the seniors we had graduating with honors. That's all I have.
I know we built that track to be able to do this size, but oh my God, that meet was so flippin' big. I mean, there's one. Knowing that uh, it was a success because she was stressed out pretty good. I think last time we met though, we did have the Team Impact Awards, which had the dinner I've ever had.
They did a great job.
Those kids did a fabulous job. It was a tri-tip steak. Um, with track, I've had a lot of track cancellations and reschedules, and so I have not been able to attend a legislative review who runs this, one of the guys, he's a teacher, a special education teacher in Fort Lupton. But with this and they pay. But I thought that was really cool. But the other piece, and I talked to Hayden a little bit while we were on recess, there's a young man, he's I'm going to try to get him in touch with BOCES because right now all Weld County schools are members of BOCES, so that would be a good starting point. I'm going to introduce him to now this year in sales, and like everybody's like, wait, what? In a student store? And so that was pretty cool.
Like 19,
Is it? Yeah.
18.
That will be graduating or that are in the program? That will be graduating?
Nice.
Okay.
So 19 out of 23 are our kids.
Oh, my word.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
I was thinking of
Provide the support for students, even the students that are struggling. It was a good visit, and we had a chance to talk on the backside of that. So that was a in the course of a year, just blew my mind as they put numbers around it. It was incredible how play college sports. And often in high schools, it stops there. I think we had 38 or 4. Celebrates successes our students are having. And I just want to call out, I think there are lots and lots of things going on. They pull them out, put them in little mini trash cans with paper, and they light on fire. So you get to watch students. That gets students lit up about their interest, and certainly that's a passion for Jerry. So I thought that was fantastic. I would have loved to do that as a high schooler. So yeah, they did good.
And just a quick addition to that, the way that that room is set up with the
Martin student, but I am very close with him, and I think it's amazing the passion he has for getting kids excited about art and
Before we move on, I don't get the opportunity to do this very often because I just, with my family, I don't get an opportunity
Tonight I'd like to give just a brief view of where the district finances 97.92% to 109.49%. All district operated schools are in acceptable range. I know Millikan Elementary.
It's all that stuff my wife brings home this week for teacher appreciation, right?
Parents in the district to hear this, because not from anyone particularly in this, but I hear a lot of comments there of, oh, where's all
work for that team to look through and go through it and judge against a rubric. I'm guessing
Interesting. Okay, thank you. I just
yeah,
wanted.
yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay.
I told Michael earlier today I'll do it and got caught up in the other stuff. So thanks for
I'll move to accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Director Proctor, a second by Director Johnson to approve the consent agenda as
we're going to ask a little different than what's in your packet in terms of the request tonight is, as it says in there, we're asking you
I'm speaking on behalf of Sabrina Weber. She's at a graduation out of state, so I'm gonna or presentation. So yeah, Yalen Chavez in marketing, Peter Hollywood in public policy and advocacy, there used to be awards, so never mind. So it's nationals and that's it.
What kind of fundraising did FBLA do during the year up to this point?
Yeah, so
This is Brandon.
here FBLA ran their own business called The Exchange. We ran the On the Move portion. So what a lot of our classes did was make merch for certain organizations. This was just track. And we actually made the theater shirts, it's new football and such. So that's what our members mostly focused on this year.
Thank you.
Just approving them to go.
Just approving them to go. We'll come back and like I said, there's still some work. I think even the question, Director Proctor, you asked, I think there's the clarity there to make sure all of what they're asking for financially is clear and clear cut for us for what we're asking the board to fundraise. And we'll have that to put in front of you in 2 weeks.
Cool. Any other questions on this one? Backups, hardcore. Track.
President Wales and board members, we're gonna ask Coach Joyner to switch hats and talk to us about his track trip.
Well, first of all, just for all the shout outs and everything for the track meets and program, it has been a blessing, honestly. I got here ironically by Ken Howell in 2012, I believe was my first year. And we have obviously grown our program. What's also cool about that is most of the track staff is still together. So I think that says a lot about our team, and our program, and our school district, and our everything. Because there will be coaches that are putting their kids through our district, and then they're on the track team, and maybe board members that are going to have kids on our track team or already have had them on our team. We have attrition every year, obviously, but we had 190, almost 200 athletes that started the track season this year, which is incredible in itself because I think we have kids on our track team than all of the R2J schools combined. So that's saying something. Yeah, about our track program, but more about our kids and what they're staying involved in. Pretty cool. I'll make this quick, I promise, but it got me thinking about some stuff. First of all, Randall has kept the most accurate deep records that you can probably find in the state of Colorado. Luckily, we still have those in paper form in a box. I have them at the school. I've digitized all of them, and so we're hopefully getting those. In fact, the state is using them to reconcile some state meet stuff back all the way to the 60s. So with that, our records are very extensive, but it's also neat to see how much we've gotten better. I mean, I think there's evolution there, and technology, and the equipment, and many factors to kids out for track versus, probably not 200 kids. But for example, so our girls' top 20s, right now 11.6% of our top 20 in 18 different events have happened this year in school history for girls. We've had 21% of our school records were set, overall school records, not just top 20. Right now we have 4 girls' records have been broken this year. On the guys' side, we're up to 11.9% of the records have been broken. The top 20s have been set this year, and 11.1% of the school records have been broken this year. So what's even more exciting is that we are very fortunate that our graduating is going to be very slim this year. Not because we don't have a lot of seniors, but we just, for whatever reason, we only have a couple that are like state point contributors. I joke, I say very, very good junior high track team. We have 9th, 10th graders, a lot of them, with some very good 11th grades that can cast those as well. So, right next week, we'll see. We're heading in second on the side, and the girls are also in 5. So we'll see how it goes. They have to do it on the day. Hopefully, we prepare them for that. So we won WELCO, the Weld County Championships, both girls and guys and overall. And then our boys won the league championship last week, and the girls were runner-up. Timnath. It was a very good program. And then we've had 3 college signees going to UCCS. One's going to Metro State, and then one going to K-State for track. Right now we have about 20 girls and 18 boys qualified, currently sitting in qualifying position for state, so that's good. And then with that, most of those kids, well, all of those kids, 18 of them total between the guys and girls are wanting to have hit a standard for national qualifying. So it isn't, and I don't mean to, it doesn't mean anything when I say this, but it's not a pay-to-play thing. I mean, you have to hit a standard. That's literally the only way you can go, and it's against the best and the brightest of the United States. So, like you have to run 4:09 in the 16th to make it, that kind of stuff. Anyway, we have a good group of girls and boys that have qualified and have given me a hard yes on parents letting them go, and so I'm basically asking for permit to take them. Nell Howell, I think everybody knows her, maybe not. She's a teacher in the district. Her son is a freshman on our team and is obviously very good because he qualified as a freshman. And so she would like to go as obviously a background checked district employee. My wife usually goes. Our kids are getting older, so we're trying to limit how much time we're not with some of the stuff. So she's a district paid employee track and cross country also. She's not going this year. It's going to be me, Janelle, and then we have four or five, it may be total families that are going to obviously on their own and everything are going to go and watch their athletes compete. So there's a whole lot of adults around. It's been pretty much a family effort when we go there, and when we go, it's amazing. We've gone to Nike 2 times and then New Balance, which that one was in Philadelphia. Nike is at Oregon at Hayward Field. It's where the trials, World Championships, NCAA Championships. Some pretty amazing stuff happen at track, and our kids get to compete in the exact same lanes as gold medalists.
It's the second best track in the United States.
To ours?
Exactly.
Okay. Facility, the track, we're getting quite a reputation. We'll just say that. Don't get scared when I tell you this, but we have 81 teams coming this week. Less athletes, because it's a very, very strict entry. So you can't just like sign up your whole team to come. It's, there's teams with 2 kids coming. So it looks like a longer list. There's actually a couple less athletes in the list. I mean, like literally, I think the last I looked just now, actually, it was like 2 less athletes than we had with 50. So, yeah, everybody wants to come to the track. They're asking us why we don't host state. And I said it because I don't want to host state. The golf course might be something we're looking at putting a bid in to host a state championship golf course, the new one, obviously. In the works, so we'll see how that goes. So, yeah, anyway, so that's the plan. Oh, that trip is, I'm sorry, June. We would leave the 19th and basically compete. Houston, the fresh would compete at the end of the day, the 19th. And most everybody, all right, let's see. Wait. Yeah, 19th to the 22nd, and then we would stay in Portland, come home the morning of the 23rd, just because don't want to rush kids from Eugene to Portland after events. We can take our time. So, great trip here, so we'll see how it goes. That's it.
Are you requesting any money or just?
No, so fronting the points, because we do a group reservation, obviously we can be all on the same flight, because when we're doing club events, like as in not associated with Roosevelt, parents buy point tickets, they use Southwest points and all other stuff, so, but I like, because of Roosevelt, we qualified national event, we book a group, and then the parents are paying back the track account for those tickets, and it's $395 is what the parents pay out of pocket, and they're obviously they're oldest and have said the 18 that are hoping to go said yes, they'll do that. So.
Yeah, I love the agenda. It's fun to look and see what all the students will be participating in. So thank you for including that.
Yeah.
That looks really good. And just a funny note is I had a bunch of RHS graduates at my house the other night, and somehow the rumor got started you were retiring. And we already posted this public meeting, and I was like, oh, I think so. Let's just pull up the. I know. And it was funny because there was a collective like cheering. I found out you weren't leaving RHS.
My youngest is 9, so.
Yeah.
You got a minute.
They were so happy to see. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta win some stuff.
Got to run on that track. But thank you. This is very detailed and it looks really good.
Yeah, the food part, when we eat, has to be pretty big. I don't know if any of you have ever been to Eugene or the University of Hawaii campus. It's ridiculous. But there's obviously food options literally across the street, which aren't even on. It's just like a campus and they food. I mean, it's, yeah. So we don't know what time we're eating, but we will eat, I promise. So.
Yeah.
Just be track and food.
I'm gonna skip. Yeah, well, I would like to make a motion to approve the RHS track team going to Oregon for their national meet, national meet. Okay.
Second.
Oh.
Just want to have it.
I did forget to mention something.
Oh, yeah.
We have one athlete that is 3/4 of an inch on the high jump away from hitting what's called the U20. Basically, on track, it takes a lot to be an Olympian, obviously, but it's like step one.
Wow.
So if she hits the 5'8" and 3/4, she'll actually be competing against all the 20-year-olds from all the universities
Division I,
in the
yeah.
nation that have done what she has done as a junior in high school. So yeah. So if she does that, she'll also do that. It's in the same schedule. So she'll get to high jump twice probably. So.
Will she qualify at this upcoming track meet?
I hope so. Yeah. She almost got 5'10" at a meet this year, which would put her top 5 in the nation.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Fun to watch.
That's fun.
You get to see it a lot. So.
It's a great event, Eris. High jump. And that's coming from the 13th best coach, high jump, who attends the best. And I bring that up though about us having this facility because when I'm in my other colors, it's really fun just to sit and listen to the other coaches talk about facility because they have no idea that I have a connection to it at all. And so, yeah, it's just really cool. And everybody loves it. Everybody loves it. So
I'm very proud of it.
Yeah. All right, do you guys want to rock, paper, scissors for that second? Okay. So we have a motion by Director Johnson, a second by Director Proctor to approve the track nationals trip. Any further discussion? Hearing none, and I should have had you roll call the one, Ms. Diagana.
You're going to do it this time, so I sat back. Johnson.
Yes.
Amanda Proctor.
Yes.
Nate Fasano.
Yes.
Amy Musgrave.
Yes.
Michael Lewis.
Yes. Well, go make us proud. Yeah, or well, you've already done that. Proud, yeah. Let's move on to our FFA Nationals trip request.
So I know that we had a budget for you guys, but I don't know if you received it, so I just printed out the actual itinerary for everybody. Our trip doesn't take place until October, but the National FFA Convention last year, members, advisors, and then college representatives, trade schools, there was just under 73,000 people in attendance, which if you imagine in Indianapolis, that's a lot of Blue Jackets, a lot of logistics. So hotels open up in 2 days, and if I am not on at 6 p.m. Central Time, in 2 days, we will not have hotel rooms. So we must make this request early, and we just really want to celebrate these kids, so I know Brent has probably some things to talk about.
So first, thanks for letting us come. And I drug these kids out tonight, had them wear their official dress. I'm bringing them up, and I'm going to talk a little bit about them. So Dairy kids come up first. So I want to introduce our Dairy judging team. And these guys were fairly impressive at the state contest. They were the state champion team. And with that said, they weren't just the state champion team. They owned that event pretty easily. Ella Starwald was 12th overall, who's a couple weeks before was high individual at the contest we attended there. So that gives you an idea of the consistency and the, I guess, depth on this team. And Chris Gardner was 6th high individual overall at that state contest. And then the Bernard girls decided to go ahead, and Dakota decided to be 2nd overall in the entire contest. And then Maylin decided she'd just go ahead and as a freshman win high individual overall in the state contest. So we are extremely proud of this dairy judging team. And also with that, this is my 25th year teaching at Roosevelt High School, and 25th year we've had FFA. And I think back, and it's really cool because the very first state champion team we had here at Roosevelt was in, I believe, 2003. And that was a dairy judging team. One of the kids that was on that dairy judging team is named Josh Jochef. He's now the CSU dairy judging coach. And so when our kids go to contest, his students are the ones put in that contest. And that's a pretty neat deal. And also on that team, we had another individual, John Spring, who became an ag teacher, who later on went to become a principal. And that's what he's doing. And then we have another member of that team who her husband actually run a dairy farm out on Plains. So every one of those went into agriculture, and that was, I guess, 22 years ago now that would have happened, and a pretty neat deal. And I'm super proud of these kids. Our plan is to head out here in late October. I don't have the exact dates memorized on the top of my head. I can look at my phone, but I think it's on your email there probably.
28th.
So anyway,
you're gonna miss Halloween.
Yeah, there you go. We'll celebrate Halloween.
Yeah, we'll see
it'll
that.
be a good time.
We like to go to haunted house.
That's right. I like for Tic Tacs to the people that tried to scare us. It's a good time. Anyway, but with that said, these students have done a wonderful job. We're excited to take them to the National FFA Convention. Also, to have them recognized on stage at the convention here in June. And while we're out there, they will attend the National Convention to represent the state of Colorado in that National Dairy Judging Contest. And we're excited for their opportunity and the skills that they're going to learn as we go along. And so anyway, we would like your permission to travel to Indianapolis in October and have these go out there and compete. And of course, while we're out there, we'll go do some other things. We'll run out to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, run over Churchill Downs and see the Louisville Slug Factory, and of course, where they just ran the Kentucky this last weekend, and all those kind of things. And the kids, a little bit of culture, a little bit of history, a little bit of sports. It'll be a good time, and they'll also get to compete while we're out there. So that's what we're asking for permission for. So,
do you mind if I ask a question?
Please, and if you want to ask them,
yeah, I do.
They're here for a reason.
I would love to know, the dairy team, are you judging animals and product? Is that primarily, or tell me a little bit about the dairy team.
So we only judge dairy cattle. We judge the cows as well as the heifers. and we judge based off lateral as well as strength and structural.
And then how many animals generally are you there judging?
So we usually judge 8 to 10.
It's so fun to
And
watch.
nationals, it'll be a few more.
A few more at nationals.
If you're imagining the and Dynamite, milk quality is a contest that we have, but it's a separate contest.
We don't do that. We judge the cows.
So I have a question for Malin, because you, am I right? Once you're high individual in an event, you can't be high individual.
Right, and since they're a state champion team, they have to do a new contest.
So they can't
next
even
year.
be
They
out.
can't come back in dairy.
They can't come back in dirt. So, wow. So what are you guys sites for next year?
I was thinking maybe something with veterinary science or like horticulture where you like put together flowers.
Yeah, okay. We've got the facilities for that.
Yes.
Score
We
again.
had 2 gold teams at state CDEs in both of those contests.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hoping to add a couple more state champions to their belts before they all graduate.
So how many hours after school do you each put in order to get to this level?
So we practice for an hour to an hour and a half each week, as well as just each practice on our own. And we have gone to dairies, as well as we are given booklets and links and websites to follow our education and to judge classes and see how they place them compared to how we place them, and listen reasons and all that to explain why they place the cows. And we just have so much internet, we have so much extensive things we can go into research all of this.
Thank you.
And they started in December, and we finished in May. And as soon as we won, they asked me if we're having this week. And I said, I'm gonna give you a few weeks off, guys, just to get through the rest of school and get back to whatever. We'll pick up after that, but they put in some time. And that's one of the things that really, I think, I told them away to the contest that was held at Dairy a few weeks ago. I said, guys, if you just go in there and give yourself a chance, you're gonna have such a great opportunity, because the amount of time and effort you put in compared to what a lot of these teams are putting in is significant, and it will pay off. And they went in there and gave themselves a chance, and they won that contest, and then they went on and won at state too. So.
And you can only compete in one, or you can.
You can only compete in one, so all the contests happen at the same time. You have to choose which category. And a lot of these kids are going to multiple practices, not just dairy evaluation. And Brant and I each coach teams, and we do 2 hours per team a week. So these kids are really dedicated to their craft.
And we were super proud at state, because we took, how many teams have 7 or 8?
We had 8 teams, and 7 of the 8 finished top 5.
And 5 of those were gold teams, which is the top tier.
Coaches, one of the things we'd love to invite, and I don't know if Rebecca has talked to you, but big celebration for all the students that did well at state competitions in 2 weeks. So we'd love to do the celebration for all our students in front of all the students. So we've got lots of things to celebrate, and we'd love to invite you, not just the teams going to nationals, but your teams that did well at state to come and be recognized by our board members, but also in front of, we'll have lots of students that night that are in the house. So that's an exciting time for your program, but also for the students that get to celebrate your program.
And it's one of the first items on our agenda, so you don't have to sit through the CFO's report again. We're trying to lift Michael up tonight, we're sorry.
Right here, President.
Are you done with questions for dairy?
I have another question. Regarding fundraising, I know looking at the budget items like that, the fundraising is more of a broader fundraising, maybe not for dairy. What kind of fundraising does FFA do as the club to pay for the expenses you've already incurred and for potentially incurring?
Yeah, I'm happy to cover that a little bit, and then the students can chime in extras if they want. But we feel very fortunate in the community that we live in to have such vast support. And so in the fall, students have the opportunity to participate in our FFA Labor and Silent Auction, which is our largest fundraiser for the year. And students who participate in that have the opportunity to be able to compete at little to no cost to them. So oftentimes we ask their families to pay for their food, but the FFA chapter, because of the generosity of the community, pays for all of their registration. So their FFA dues, any contests they ever attend, leadership workshops, all of those things. And we have felt like blessed to be able to offer that opportunity for them because of community support. And then we also, basically between Brent and I, we get calls and probably end up doing 4 or 5 things that we could consider a fundraiser every semester. That's $1,000 here or there, just helping with things as they come up. We have laid tires on silage for a farmer that's like, I have $1,500 if you can bring some help. We help with the St. Vrain Young Farmers auction, where we just support in whatever way and they give a donation back. Four Rivers has a big event every year that we help with, and they give an in-kind donation for helping with that. So a lot of our students are very quick and willing to jump at those opportunities. And then when they qualify to go to state, so our state committee will be June in Pueblo, the FFA chapter entirely covers their fees. And so I know we'll talk about that in a couple of weeks. On the budget that is reflected is their convention costs are right at about $4,100, and the FFA chapter covers that entirely for all of them. But yeah, we do just a bunch of
If you're the
random
state
ones.
champion team, they want you there
Yeah.
because they're going to recognize you on stage at state convention, which is a pretty special deal for these kids too, and we want that for them. So.
Thank you.
I'm gonna let the Derrick team go if it's okay. Okay.
Good job, Derek.
Good job, Derek.
Livestock judging team, we're missing one of them, livestock judges, come on up. So, the livestock judging team this year did something that I don't think ever done at state before. And I'm actually extremely excited about it. And that is, they placed 3rd overall at state. And Mr. Nielsen was there, and before the awards, I said, now if livestock or horse gets 2nd or 3rd and we celebrate more than the 1st place team, just know that's because we didn't want to win yet this year. But we want to go to a national contest. But unfortunately, with those teams that was so close, we didn't know if we were 2nd, 3rd, or 4th or 5th. We knew we weren't 1st because they called the state champion on stage, and we had to wait until a few days later to find out where we wound up. And sure enough, this team wound up 3rd, which we are very excited about because it is made up of 3 sophomore girls and 1 senior boy. And the senior boy is Braden Fields. He's not here tonight, but he did what a senior's supposed to do. He just went ahead and won contest and was high individual overall. And then in addition to that, we also have Riley Joseph, who also is in the gold category and did a great job for us. And so we have Emily Sharkey, and also we have Millie Steyerwalt. And all three of these girls did a wonderful job for us, especially as only sophomores, to get us to this level. And that's what I'm excited about, is because hopefully we'll be able to take them to Kansas City, have them compete in October at the American Royal. And when we come back next year, we won't have an empty team like we do with Derry, where we have to start over. Instead, we'll have 3 sophomores ready to go, and we've already got a bench full of freshmen and more sophomores ready to join them and help make this team strong again next year too. So we're extremely excited about that, and they did a great job. And also, they won a couple of contests this year before we went to state, so we knew we had a very good chance. And all 3 of these girls traded turns before state, being a high person on team. And here's Braden, the senior, going, when's it my turn? And then he goes to state and he wins the whole contest. So it worked out the way it's supposed to. But anyway, and also, American Royal Test is really nice. I have 2 sons that are judging in college right now, and they tell me that's like their favorite contest. And it is a really high-class event. And the reason I say we've never done this before, we've had 1st and 2nd at state many times, And if you're going to go to National Western, we've done that multiple times, that's great. We went to Nationals and Indianapolis. And this is our chance to go do it. So we're going to the American Royal this year. So anyway, we're excited about that. We would like to get your permission to travel out there. I don't know exactly what the schedule is going to be, except we're planning to leave on the 16th. We're planning to wander out there in a relatively relaxed fashion, stop along the way at some different livestock producers, judge livestock there, sharpen up our skills, get to interact with some elite members in the livestock industry. Also, I'm planning to stop off at Purina Farms, take a tour of that, get a little souvenir while we're there, and then head on up to, because they always give out it.
Have you gone out there before with kids?
We have stopped at the Purina Farms on the way to National Convention when we drove once.
Okay, because I remember somebody talking about it once.
Yeah.
It's quite a place to go to.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice facility. And so we're planning to do that.
Is this the dog food? Purina
Yes,
dog
they
food?
do dog food, all kinds of livestock feed, horse feed. Yeah.
But it's
that
kind
facility.
of it's
well,
that's what it
research
was.
there.
I was working, totally separate thing. But yeah, I was working with some guys from I can't say that word, Purina. But it's kind of their testing facility for all their livestock, and it's it's something to behold, they say.
Yeah, it'll be a nice. And then they're going to judge on the 19th. Awards will be the morning of the 20th, and then we'll head back to Colorado. So that's the plan. Hopefully we'll have some awards bring back to Colorado.
But when do you guys get summer vacation? Well, this is in August or October, so.
Yeah, October,
You're good.
but we'll be busy most of the summer.
Yeah.
We're really excited. We've already been showing livestock, getting ready for summer, and we're wound up. Last weekend, we had a pretty good weekend with the Bernard girls out at the American Royal, Little American Royal in Kersey, So we're having a lot of fun.
Do you guys ever get the opportunity to do any judging at either Larimer or Welt Fair?
When they bring in, professional judges to judge the shows, a lot of times our kids will be sitting around the ring practicing on their own.
Right.
Because it's a disease and they can't stop themselves. Once you start looking at animals, judging them, you become very judgmental. You don't tell your friends what you think of their cows and their horses, but inside your head, it's there. And I do encourage the kids to go and watch and stuff are not actually showing and that kind of thing. And I'll tell you what's cool though. We have graduates that have come out of Roosevelt High School that judge at big national shows, including Western and Kansas City. And it's pretty neat when one of your former students out there, Mike, at a national show, and their opinion decides this national show today. That's a pretty neat deal. And if you know Dustin Frank, he's been doing that the last couple of years down at Western, one of the most prestigious steer shows in the country. And he raises some really good cattle out on the plains. But anyway, regardless, I can brag about one now all day. You don't want me to do that. But thank you for all your support over the years. And we would like permission to take these young people to Kansas City, let them represent Roosevelt and Colorado at a national level contest. And that's asking for it. If you have any questions for them, we can talk to.
Can I ask the dumb question? What is livestock judging? Like, what are we judging?
Livestock.
Like, what kind of livestock?
So it consists of cattle, sheep, pigs, and goats. You do market, breeding, all sorts of different on those lines. And there'll be classes of 4, anywhere from 8 to 12 classes. And then we'll go and give a set of reasons, which is basically just like a kind of a speech that back up why you place that class.
Thank you.
And just piggyback on Amanda's, and start talking about former students that are the head judge. So does the head judge do the ultimate judging, and then who comes kind of closest, what his impressions, that's how they decide winners?
When I was talking about those students, I was talking to them judging big shows where breeders all over the country bring livestock and have them evaluate the show, which is what Bernards were doing last weekend out at the Little American Royal. They took some pigs there, showed them, and there was a professional judge that came in and judged those. And so anyway, also, yes, there are head judges that judge these kids in the contest, and what they do is go through, they evaluate those classes ahead of time, look at all the animals, usually it's a committee, they talk it over and agree, and they're usually breeders, people that have judged at the college level, professionals in the industry, and then they are what all the officials. And then, yes, how close their placings match the officials, what determines their score. And those are also the people that when they give their reasons, their oral presentation, they're listening to these young people to see, are they telling me things that are accurate and truthful and are important in the industry, especially in this particular class? And if so, they reward those kind of things. On the other hand, if they're inaccurate or they're talking about things that don't really matter in this particular class, that deducts from their points, of course. And then it's not just the content, it's also the way that they speak. You know, do they fluctuate their voice? Do they sound confident? But they're trying to basically convince the official they did it right.
Oh, fascinating.
We're just going to approve that trip as well.
The trip, yeah. So we have
I'll second.
I felt pretty good about yourself.
$107,000,000. Wow, see, I always do that. $107,238,267.
Yes. All right, sir. Do you need signatures?
Uh,
to be providing that anyway. Maybe it's because the funding is dried up. I haven't been following it. That's why I feel like this is a really dumb question. I feel like
State dipped into the state education fund to do some backfill for the program.
and then my other question is, the biggest change on here is middle school lunch. Why is that?
So this particular item does not. You know, basically if Healthy School Meals for All, if it was mailing for as far as the eye could see, this really wouldn't have much of any impact on anyone in the district. Because, you know, you get a complimentary breakfast and lunch. I mean, the one thing that would
My poor memory. You had told me that in Milliken, maybe specifically,
For summer, I think we're looking for fall. you sent that other draft out Monday this week.
Yes,
The
yeah.
second draft, which is what we looked at tonight.
My multiple inputs and changes. I have one more, and it. Has any effect on anything, but I know another. Well, we're not taking action on either of them. This is first reading, so.
Meeting in June,
Yep, we can do that.
make sense?
Yep.
Like that gives us a little more time to.
Now, So if you guys get out on our website, got the new board policy out there, so the a little bit of training with that, so if that's something you guys are interested in, we can work on CASB facility or the.
Well, they may have left a note.
I didn't see it.
Okay.
I didn't see it.
Or I, of the Colorado Revised Statutes for purposes of determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategy for negotiations, and instructing negotiators regarding
To enter into executive session. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all Superintendent Kramer, Ms. Miller, you won't be joining us? Okay. right, it is still 9:26. And we'll go ahead and resume the general session. We just came out of the executive session. We'll move into our closing items, any other items deemed necessary by the board. So our next meeting is scheduled as a work session, but we're gonna have a small business meeting as part of that, just so we can wrap up some of the end of the year stuff that, like the graduation list that we don't have quite yet. We need to approve the graduation list as one of those items. So if you can't make it for the whole work session, but if you could at least make it for the that business meeting portion, that way we can have a quorum. Thank you guys for a long night, but a productive one. And we'll go ahead and adjourn.